Okay. Thank you for hanging in there. Those of you that are still watching, there was an issue with the audio. It's been fixed now. Um, just so you know, we have Amy K and Sherri Anne from Sister Speak. Amy Kirkpatrick, she's a singer-songwriter. So is Sherri Anne from Sister Speak. We're today having a chance to drink some new tea that we've collaborated with Sister Speak on to design. Excited to bring it out. We're probably going to cut off the first half of the show when we do the archive version of this show. So those of you who watch the miming, appreciate your patience. And we had a chance to talk a little bit about Amy's company, which is called Feel Well. We talked about Sister Speak and I meeting her quite a long time ago on Sister Speak's Women's Voice Tour, which is the name of the tour actually influenced the name of Sister Speak. Sherri Anne listened to Amy while she was writing the Rise Up for Love album, so there's a lot of musical connection going way back. Amy's medicinal salve soak company. Why do I keep forgetting that? I don't know. Feel Well, you should check it out. Her new single Lifeline. Sister Speak has a new album as well. It's a live album, absolutely fantastic. You should check it out live at the Belly Up. There's a vinyl version of the album that came out. And we were just we had them on just now, and we were about to make some tea or talk at least about the ingredients or the development of the tea. And one of our viewers was able to let us know that hey, there's an issue with the audio. So we've since fixed it, and here we are back on. So Amy and Sherri Anne, you still there?
Hello.
Okay, awesome. Okay,
Can you hear me?
I think I could hear you all along, yes, and I believe everybody else can. So
Okay.
yeah, and I'm seeing it register on the mixer here on my broadcast software. So we're good. That's what I needed to do. So amazing. So we were talking a little bit about why marshmallow root, and Sherri Anne had said that it's their licorice root, was it? No, slippery elm and marshmallow root were really good lozenges for coating the throat, and you sometimes use glycerin sprays or something with glycerin in it. You just want to keep your throat moist for when you're singing, right? And there was maybe what's important about this, Sherri Anne, is marshmallow root and why we choose honeybush and why we choose raspberry leaf. You're really concerned about when it causes kind of a scratchiness, right? That's why you stay away from certain herbs?
Yeah, so it's interesting. A lot of people think that peppermint is good for singing, but if you're singing for a long time in the evening, it actually could be very drying.
Okay.
So I found that a lot of teas will give me like a bit of an astringent feeling, like some herbal teas.
Okay.
And I don't want too much caffeine because then it helps you for a second, but then it kind of like also dehydrates a little bit.
Right.
So I'm always trying to find a tea that I could drink like that night and kind of like semi-often. And I think that this is a good one for that because honeybush doesn't have caffeine in it. I'm a huge fan of rooibos.
Right.
It's like the national tea of South Africa. Everybody was drinking it constantly there.
Rooibos. So, and I mean, I had a guest on who was very adamant that rooibos and honeybush are not really related to each other, but genealogically speaking, they are quite similar. Now, it's an interesting one, though both of them are only found in South Africa, and have some really nice mineral content that are going to help with balancing out your system. So it's going to do good things without stimulating your nervous system. Like peppermint is a mild stimulant, and not everybody knows that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and oddly enough, Health Canada at one point was going to make it so that you couldn't buy chamomile and peppermint unless it was like you had it from a special place, like it would have like a medical license to be able to sell it. And herbalists were up in arms, going, "What are you doing?" you know, like.
Whoa.
But it's interesting because I think it just goes to show just how powerful these medicines can be. So,
Wow.
if you make a really strong decoction of chamomile, it's going to have a significantly medicinal effect on your system.
Wow.
It's a very powerful sedative. So, and peppermint can be really intense too. Like if you do like a really powerful decoction and drink it, you could really, every herb really though, everything you eat, drink has a neutral, medicinal and toxic level of amount, right, that you can work with.
Yeah.
it's good to be aware of that and know that these teas, though, the way we're making them as extractions, we're steeping them, right? We're taking a small amount of herbs, we're putting hot water over them for a small amount of time, and then we're pouring them. We're sifting them. That's a very next to neutral, the very little medicinal effect. There's a small amount there, but this is not like if we did a really strong decoction, or if we did like this, just like an extreme extraction where we like kept it boiling for a long time and brought everything, like really tried to concentrate everything out and like really reduce the moisture level, and we had these really strong extractions. It would be doing different things for us. Is this making sense? Like, it's just
yeah. Well, you just blew my mind, because I drink sleepy time tea every night, and it has valerian root and lavender and all that in it, but then it has peppermint, and I didn't know peppermint was a stimulant.
Yeah, but again, like, you're drinking it probably
a tiny bit,
such a small amount that it's not. But if you took like, what I like to drink my peppermint is I like to do like 2 to 3 grams, and I weigh out the mass, and the mass is different. Like in a tea bag, often are you drinking a tea bag? Is that what we're doing? Yeah. So there's often only 2 grams, and it's all of the herbs together, right? So there's a very small. And if you look at how they're suggesting you make it, they're suggesting for flavor that you make it in like a little tiny half cup, right?
Right.
And most of us are going to drink it in a 12-ounce cup, so it's going to be a very lightly flavored hot water kind of experience. And that's fine though. Like, it's nice to just have a nice warm liquid before we go to sleep. Right?
Yeah.
And the longer you leave it in, more of those roots that, like the valerian root, it'll start to produce more flavor. Roots have that effect. Boiling water and let it kind of hang out for a little bit longer. But if we're working with something like the raspberry leaf in this one, boiling water would actually make it so that it's a little bit too harsh. Whereas 90 degrees is going to make it have a beautiful sweet flavor that's going to add to the extraction. So temperatures, mass, they're all going to play a role. And it's just good to know that these teas, even in 4 grams, even the way that I like to drink it, isn't going to be like this extreme medicinal effect. I'm not going to be wired off by peppermint. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. and when I say mild stimulant, I mean the word mild. It is very mild. But it is definitely not a tea. I wouldn't really be prone to drink a pure peppermint tea that's really fresh and made like 3 grams before I go to sleep.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting.
Good to know. Yeah.
So we have some. So how do you know, Sherri Anne, that the raspberry leaf isn't going to affect your throat in a negative way? Do we know, or are we just kind of playing with fire?
No,
are
that's
we playing
the
with
thing.
fire here?
That's the only one I don't know. I was actually going to be I was curious, because like I know that the honeybush and the rooibos are both very nice for. Yeah, actually, it was something interesting Amy was talking about was flying. What you had mentioned, I think it was muted when we talked about that. Do you mind mentioning that again?
Well, you were saying how I didn't know that honeybush was good for singers. I've never heard that. I've tried other things, but
marshmallow.
Marshmallow. Sorry, marshmallow. When you fly, and that's anybody, like your throat is just so dry after from the air condition or like the conditioned air. And then if you have to go play a show or go into the studio right after, I've noticed that you can just barely sing, and it's kind of a waste of time. And so yeah, I'm excited. I haven't even opened this yet. I haven't smelled it, so I'm excited.
You should open it up.
Yeah?
Yeah, open it up. Let's get you to look at it.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I noticed that when we sampled this at the tea bar, didn't have a drying effect on me personally, so that was really exciting. And the marshmallow root was very moist.
You know, it's a beautiful tea, hey? Doesn't it have a nice appearance?
Should I pour it out onto a little plate, like you said?
Yeah. I was saying to Amy, because she's scaleless, and it's such a
I'll just make a big mess. Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah, make a big mess. Dump it all out on the plate, and then divide it into 5. 5 equal
God.
parts. Yeah.
Oh, it's so pretty.
And then what we've done for you here is that you're going to be oxidizing this tea if we don't get it in something at some point today.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is, right?
Like a lot more. Like that little package is really like condensed.
It's deceiving. Yeah.
It is deceiving.
I love this method.
Isn't it great?
This is what he told me to do. I asked her. I was like, I don't know what to do.
She's gonna cut it like separate it like a pizza pie. So 5 parts.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I
I
don't
was
know.
doing something else.
It doesn't matter how you do it. 5 equal parts. It's gonna work. Yeah. I would imagine a pile, and then I would kind of like separate it like a pizza pie.
I was doing slicing it in like little like columns here.
Yeah, that works too. It's all good. We got it. We got this. And then you're gonna put one of the columns into an extraction vessel, a brewing vessel. Can be anything. I'm using one of these. This is a kyusu. My wife got this for me for Christmas. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? With the the orange and stuff. It's from a potter in Aichi Prefecture.
Ooh.
In Japan.
I actually do have a teapot that has a little strainer built into it. Can I use that?
You could, yeah. But
will that do the job?
The idea for when we're doing, I often have people not use their regular teapots. This one has a strainer built into it, but it's right. I don't know if you can see that okay, but it's. I'll show you guys.
Like
too.
Inside it?
Yeah, and I'll show the audience. It's right where it's blocking the.
Yeah, that's what I have.
That's what you have. Okay, perfect. Why don't you grab that?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay.
How many grams again are we doing?
We're gonna do 8 grams.
Ooh.
So I believe, is my math correct there? That if she has a 40-gram pouch and she wants 8 grams, she needs to divide it by 5?
8 times 5 is 40.
Right? I feel like I'm going back to school here. My math. Okay. So we talked a little bit when it was on mute about some of the healthful impacts of the honeybush, the marshmallow root, and the raspberry leaf, but we've sort of oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Very cool. So what I found is that the raspberry leaf is a really good one for reducing inflammation. So if you have my understanding of how it works on the system is that if you have some inflammation, it's gonna help. So that's useful for a singer, I would assume. And then the lozenge effect, or the throat coating effect of the marshmallow root, and then the sort of syrupy quality of the honeybush too, right? Like all of these things are going to be. The theory is sound, so now we got to put it into practice, right? This is the.
Okay, so did I miss something? Do I put 1/5 of this into the pot?
You want to preheat the teapot. That's all. So
preheat the teapot.
Preheat. So we put boiling water in it, or hot water?
You can put hot water in the teapot, and then you want to bring your water to a boil. This is the moment where you'd bring it all to a boil.
I gotta go.
It's all good.
I'm gonna reboil mine right now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, great. So.
That's a really comfortable looking couch. It's a really nice scene right there with the tea and the couch.
Is it? I mean, the audience can't see it right now.
Gotcha.
Well, maybe I could.
Oh, I think she.
She was just commenting on the scene there, Amy, at your space there. It's very comfortable looking, she says.
It looks beautiful with the tea and the couch. It's really nice.
This is how I hang out with my tea. Okay, I got the boiling water.
Lovely. Okay.
My water's boiled.
We had a request to see the packaging, but I have to tell the viewers that that is not possible right now. We were working on it, but we're a little bit. We'd hoped to have the packaging to show off today, but.
Oh, you mean like an actual tin?
A tin with the label and the whole bit.
Cool.
But we were actually on Sister Speak's show today, asking the audience for some name suggestions for the tea. Are we just going to call it Honeybush Marshmallow Root and a Raspberry Leaf, or are we going to call it something else? And
I liked Singer's Delight. That was
a good option. Singer's Delight. I mean, I think it hits the goal there, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's also like, I think it's something also for people that are like coaches too, that have to speak a lot, or teachers, or people going to conferences to talk. People do a lot of songwriting sessions like yourself, Amy, like traveling, obviously not now, but like when the pandemic chills out.
Yeah.
Like if you have to go somewhere, if I'm going on tour, like landing, and planning, like that's the kind of thing where this hopefully would be helpful for.
Looking everywhere for the tin. So this is the packaging right now.
Would you mind
But I think that would be nice for the viewers to see is just the and I'll
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
There it is.
It's so pretty. It's like
yeah.
I put mine on a little dish.
Yeah, awesome. Cool.
I accidentally stole my mom's scale. Amy, check this out. It's like
Oh,
we can
I
get
don't
you
have
one.
one.
I never had one either until I stole my mom's by accident.
Accidentally stole her scale. That's funny. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. We're going to brew this one at for 4 minutes. So 8 grams, 4 minutes, 240 grams of tea at 90 degrees. So Amy, to get 90 degrees, your boiling water is 100 degrees centigrade. So when you put hot water into a room temperature vessel, it drops. It drops 10 degrees centigrade.
Okay.
So we need to figure out how we can get a cup of water. Do you have like a measuring cup?
No.
No? Okay.
I have something that's about a cup.
Do you have mason jars?
Yeah. Is it
like
half
these little ones or the bit? Yeah, that
Perfect.
how.
Is that an 8 ounce or a 16 ounce mason jar?
16, I think.
Okay, so that one kind of half full is going to be what you're looking for. So if you fill that with boiling water half full, and that if that jar is really cold right now, the boiling water will break the glass. But if it's
okay, no, it's all good. So I've got filled half the water.
Wonderful. So half with the boiling water. You pour that on top of the leaves that are in the teapot, and you're brewing at 90 degrees.
Oh, okay.
So.
This is my brewing vessel.
Nice. Okay.
This is a jar, and then I have a cup.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And
so we're pouring.
We're gonna pour. And as you pour, I'm gonna press the timer for 4 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
Going in.
Woo!
I'm filling up mine to 240 here. So yeah, Sister Speak and Jagasilk have been talking about doing this collaborative project for like at least 4 years, 5 years. I don't even remember anymore.
It
was
cool.
Probably like 5 years.
or maybe, and then we were like, this is gonna happen when you were trying to figure. You added it as a gift for your new.
For the first.
Was it the first album or the second album? I think it was the
second album.
Second album.
Sample. So I still gotta send those out.
Yeah. So that's gonna happen. And they'll probably get the first batch that we blended here, and so that should be fun. And the viewers were asking if they're correct that it's hearing that it's marshmallow root and raspberry leaf in the tea. That is right. There's also honey bush for those watching. So honey bush, marshmallow root, raspberry leaf. So yeah, if you know what I like to do when it's brewing, I like to open up the lid and give it a smell. It's always kind of beautiful. Doesn't it smell amazing? Very you can smell the raspberry leaf, kind of like a sweet grassiness. Yeah, pretty excited. So.
Do you have one that's like a sleep one? Do you have or we could do a sleep tea together?
I'm into it.
The next thing.
Maybe we design a sleepy tea. This is actually this is good as an evening tea because there's no stimulants in it. It's not really, it's not really a sediment. Sorry, not a sediment, a sedative. Like the chamomile would be. And maybe valerian, and there's different herbs that are going to be really helpful with sleep. But it is nice to have in the evening because nothing in it is going to spike your nervous system. So, yeah. Oh, do you have a favorite night herb?
Valerian root. Valerian root and lavender.
Lavender's nice.
Lavender's it's surprisingly like tasty.
We actually did a lavender in a peppermint blend that we did. We did peppermint, lavender, and cardamom. I think that was what we did. Oh no, was it rose petals?
Sounds nice.
Cardamom. I know we did something with lavender, peppermint, lavender, PLC. I think so. PLC. Yeah. So we always call them by their initials. So. That's how I remember. So no, awesome. Yeah, valerian root is super interesting to me as well. It's that's also an example of a really powerful herb.
It is. I take it every night and I sleep
really well.
Near perfectly when I have it. Yeah. And I don't have the other sleep aids kind of make you groggy in the morning, and you don't feel that way because it's gentle. It's like such a gentle herb.
Nice.
Yeah.
Something really I think that for me, I'm not a huge fan of taking pills for pain or for fever, etc. And I know in some situations it's really important, but I always gravitate towards herbal healing whenever possible.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is that there seems to be a mitigator in most herbs that gets lost when you extract just the medicinal component out and turn it into a pill. So, you know, when we're making aspirin, there's it's like white birch bark. I can't remember what.
Willow.
Willow, thank you. When you get it from the willow bark, apparently there's a mitigator in willow bark that helps it have less of an intense effect on your system. That's lost when you just create that medicinal component in a lab and turn it into a pill. So there's our 4 minutes.
It's like, what is that?
So
that was 4 minutes.
Yeah, 4 minutes.
Right.
And
That's awesome. You already have a strainer.
Yeah.
I forgot that this had, if it works. Oh, it worked.
Awesome.
Cool.
This
Sort of. A little.
That lets you control the brew. So many times people don't have they don't strain their tea, and then it just keeps brewing. And it's less of an issue with a tea like this, where it's not going to get super tannic like it would if it was a Camellia sinensis tea, but still.
I accidentally brewed it for like 20 minutes the other day.
Oh, yeah. And it tasted kind of like soup, like a savory
Yeah.
soup. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, wait, no, but I did that again at the house too.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so that's like you got to experience it twice in a row.
Yeah. Just wrong. It tasted more medicinal. I was gonna say for a lot of things they take the alkaloid out, and like our Western tendency is to like find something that works, take only the alkaloid, the active ingredient.
Yeah.
And then no buffer. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm gonna put it in this bowl because I want to make it a little.
Ooh, that's nice.
Wow.
I think that works. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. Isn't that good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
We got like just a really balanced flavor, I think. We get a little bit of the strawberry taste from the honey bush, and then you get that sweet grassy flavor from the raspberry, and how's that on the throat? This is the singers.
I know, I'm trying
the
to-
singers, right?
Yeah.
Is there a drying from that raspberry leaf? Are we like tasting the lozenge like effect of the marshmallow, or we may have to tweak. It's possible we'll have to tweak, but hopefully we don't.
No, it feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite
It's really
moist.
gentle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is gentle. Hey, it's like a friendly.
My first sip, I was a little bit concerned, and now my second sip, I'm like, oh wow, no, that's really nice. Like the sort of thickness of it.
I had the same experience. I was like, oh, is it going to be a little astringent?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, I don't think it is. It's definitely that the marshmallow is like really nice in there. You can kind of taste the like coating. It like kind of coats a little bit in a good way.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. No,
It's supposed to be really good for digestion too, the marshmallow.
Ooh.
And I think like with music sometimes there's a lot of pressure, and it's nice to have like some type of kind of like something that calms the digestion, like soothes your throat, and then also anti-inflammatory with like all the stress sometimes of like travel and like high pressure situations.
Yeah.
Thinking the red, it's crazy, right?
No, that's like all I've been sort of obsessed with lately is just like how much musicians are put through, and we're just told to tough it out, and it's just like it doesn't last. So if you're touring as much as you do, and you play so many live shows, like even if it's just ceremonial, like you make your little tea, 5 minutes, that's your meditation before your show and after your show.
Yeah,
like an excuse to take like 4 minutes for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. That's a good point.
And this is easy enough to do because most venues would have like boiling water. Well, maybe.
And
we'll make a little like tour jar, like tea set.
Oh, you gotta see my tour jar. You ready for this, Amy? This is like This is the jar. Okay, hold on one second.
This is the travel. This is what you take when you travel.
I'm gonna do a little Jaga Silk plug, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
In the meantime, I would like to do an ad for the Feel Well lip balm once again.
Except that was limited edition. I can tell people how to
so
make it. It's beeswax, coconut oil, and then lime essential oil.
That's it?
That's it. I'll show you how to make it. You melt it in a jar. Again, it's like a jar advertisement.
Yeah. Yeah. Jar. Okay. Ready for this?
Jar.
Okay. I'm gonna. Viewers. I'm gonna have them. Where are we? There we go. Okay. So I made my video larger, and there's the jacket. See, lovely. Keeps your hands from getting burnt when you put the boiling water in here. There's some lovely measurements down the side. Jars with measurements. Unusual. We have cup measurements on there. We have a little replace the inner lid of the jar with a sieve and a silicone seal around it. And then this ring here, that is stainless steel instead of that cheap tin. So that doesn't rust, which is nice.
Wow.
And then it just screws on, and you just
Oh my gosh.
in the jar, and you just pour into your cup, and it's like you're traveling.
That's amazing.
Like a traveling teapot, and we even look at that.
Oh, you have that.
Voila.
Mason Taboo.
That's our thing.
Okay, I need one of those.
Right?
The things I've done, like you're gonna just cut me off for this, but like I would put, when I was in Poland at a writing camp, I was putting like hot water from the tap into a water bottle.
Okay.
And then like I don't even know what I was doing, but that would have been a lot more handy.
Well, you do what you need to do, right? Like
you do what you need to do, but
when I couldn't get access to a teapot at all, and I was in really hot weather when I was in Europe, and I remember just putting some tea leaves into a cold water bottle and just leaving it overnight and making cold brew, right? And that's something I definitely want to. I want to, like, one of the things JagaSilk wants to do is we want to get a pasteurizer system so that we can be pasteurizing our cold brew iced tea. And we want to bottle it and have it available. And I think I could see this being really awesome as a cold brew. Like in a bottle.
Yeah.
Singer's delight.
Yeah. It reminds me of the song Rapper's Delight.
Yeah, that's good. Is there a Rapper's Delight? Who sings Rapper's Delight?
Yeah, there's a song I remember because in high school we were at like a house party, and there was just like me and 3 friends at the end of the party, and like that song came on, and then another one, and we just danced all ridiculous, just like 4 of us, and we always remember that.
Okay, we're gonna have to look it up. Yeah, no, we're gonna have to look it up. No, that's cool.
Someone had suggested that on the live stream earlier today. That is a name for the tea.
Singer's Delight. It was my favorite one. Vocal Enhancer was cool too, but I think I'm into Singer's Delight. It's great. This is really good. The more it cools too, hey? Like it gets a lot more drinkable. I think sometimes I think that a lot of the reason why tea can be drying is because it's just like really hot water if you're not careful, right? So like letting it cool a little bit, and then letting the sort of the fragments of marshmallow root that are in there just do their work a little bit more. I feel like and even when I look at the liquid, it just has kind of like a syrupy quality to it. It might be placebo. But
no, there's actually a little bit of an oil, kind of like a little bit slightly, because the marshmallow root has like natural oils in it or something.
Yeah.
Like I can actually see a tiny bit of the like.
Right? So I'm not imagining this. That's really
I can see it.
Huh.
I've never even heard of marshmallow root.
Oh yeah, it's actually I think marshmallows used to be made of actual marshmallow.
Wow.
I believe that.
Before we
and probably that gave it that pectin-like quality. Probably gelatinized the marshmallow. That's interesting.
Yeah, if you look at actually your tea that's been strained, it's really wild how much moisture there is. It's like if you even like touch the tea, it's crazy. Like if you look at the marshmallow, it's like super like moisturizing.
Super.
I think it is good for the throat. It doesn't have that sort of dry.
Yeah. It's I think the only thing is like if we had too high of a ratio of red raspberry and we burned the raspberry, it might be drying.
Maybe.
Be careful not to make it too hot.
What did you find when you had it really strong? Like when you brewed it for a million hours? Was it?
Well, I brewed it for like a lower at like a lower temperature by accident. So, but I find that if I brew it too hot,
Yeah.
then the raspberry becomes a little bit astringent.
Okay.
Wow.
So I have to brew it like definitely at 90 for the red raspberry's sake.
Why don't
I'm
we?
learning so much.
Let's brew another steep. Am I moving too quickly?
Oh, no, this is great.
No, that's fine. Here, I'll pass this on to our secret guest over here, the hidden guest.
Okay.
Hidden guest. Hi, hidden guest.
Hello, hidden guest. So if you want to pour another 240, so I found that it absorbed 30 grams, Cher. So if you're tearing your scale, put 210 on it. And Amy, when you're instead of doing a half cup, do a tiny bit less than a half cup because we want to make room for the leaf absorption.
Oh, okay.
See, what we find is with tea is if you don't make room for the leaf absorption, your second steep is always underwhelming because it becomes really, what's the word? Watery, under extracted, or under strength maybe is the better way of saying it. Yeah.
I kind of, I actually enjoy this tea understeeped as well quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like the gentle, like I tried it with like even like 4 grams. Okay. And it was still really nice.
So maybe the under strength might be a better way.
Under strength, yeah.
And I mean, a lot of it is opinion, right? Like when we're dialing in a tea, when we're trying to figure out the brew ratios that make a taste really ideal, I think that we need, especially at JagaSilk, we have certain limitations that you don't necessarily have at home. Like at JagaSilk, we're predominantly a wholesaler, right? So we're supplying tea to cafes. And as a result, we really need to have a tea that's possible with a maximum brew time of 4 minutes. But if you did a 4-gram dose instead of an 8-gram dose and you doubled the time to 8 minutes, you're going to get a different flavor, but it might be really nice. Like I know like honeybush and rooibos often benefit from a 15-minute extraction time, but there's no way that I can have my cafe customers do that. So I often end up finding rooibos or honeybush that is a little bit more like we call it a special cut, where it's like a shortcut, and with a shortcut, it's going to be a faster extraction time. Does that make sense? Because more surface area, right? More surface area means faster extraction time. So we're often really concerned with that. But this tea, I think you could do 10 minutes and you'd be okay. Yeah.
Are we brewing?
Sorry?
No.
Are we brewing right now?
We're brewing.
I am 2 minutes and 40 seconds away from my 5 minutes being completed.
Oh.
Can I ask where you learned all this about teas or where your tea journey began?
Okay,
in a nutshell, if you don't want.
Who is JagaSilk?
Or where did you learn about steeping times and?
A lot. I mean, we're always learning, of course. Like it's just kind of a permanent study. But I mean, JagaSilk we started in 2005, so we're going on 16 years.
Wow.
And we've been just doing a lot of book learning. We visit a lot of farms that we buy our Japanese teas from specifically. We're in regular conversation with the farmers that we buy from in India and China, and locally for our herbs, Sri Lanka for our spices, etc. And so there's a lot of communication that happens, a lot of book learning, and then a lot of trial and error. We're very, we really believe in the empirical method. Is it called the empirical method? Scientific method, right? So we really want to have an understanding of extraction by doing a lot of tests, and we keep a lot of data. So and over time we've just tested and been inspired by, say, the specialty wine, specialty coffee industries. And in specialty coffee there's a lot of focus on brew mass, so scales end up becoming really important for really understanding the raw material that you're working with. And they're actually really useful because you can also weigh 1 milliliter is 1 gram, right? So your water you can also weigh, so they're really nice for making tea. And then we just track a lot of this, and then we kind of taste and decide what we think tastes really nice. And then we start to sort of develop a better understanding of what we're working with, I think, because of these practices. So yeah, and then just a lot of dialogue. We do cuppings every Friday with the team, and we all are drinking teas and discussing them. And then I'm just personally really interested in flavors. Like, I think it's so interesting to hold on one second. My phone keeps ringing. I gotta turn it down. I've been having a lot of spam calls. Okay. So that's kind of where where it comes from, is just a lot of R&D, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
And I love the fact that because we supply cafes, we get a lot of feedback from them about what we might want to try out in terms of experiments and stuff, and ideas that they have for better flow and all that. 5 minutes right there. Shazam. Okay. Why are you a singer, Amy? Why
am I a singer?
Yeah, what got you into music? There's your question of the day.
I don't know. I always was. I sort of like stopped figuring that out. Like, I just had lyrics coming to me when I was like 12 about experiences that I didn't even really like. I don't know. They just kind of come through me.
Okay.
So I just never really questioned that, and then it became a career 15 years ago-ish.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm trying to figure out maybe how to take that and do something with like helping musicians, because just right now everybody I know is either too stressed to work or can't work, or there's no live shows, or everyone's having anxiety and all that. And I've sort of picked up a lot of tools over the years. Like, I did my yoga training, I did Reiki healing, and then I just got into sound healing, which is so interesting because it's like purely science-based as much as it was like a spiritual practice.
What is sound healing?
It's essentially that you can, like, if your body's out of tune, essentially, you can tune different centers of your body. So I'm reading this book right now on sound healing, but it's saying, that essentially you can tune your body to be healthier. And then if one part of your body is out of whack, the rest of your body is. Like, it's talking about how we're all, you're all connected. So, so I'm looking at getting some sound healing tools, like sound healing forks.
Oh, interesting.
They're kind of expensive, but they're actually like, you would put them on different parts of your body, and maybe Sister Speak would let me experiment. I need people to like, to see like how you feel. And it's actually like, it's becoming like a recognized like medical practice in certain places. So it's not to replace, different types of medical care, but it's something that can actually like help even your well-being.
Like a therapy.
Yeah, totally. But it actually like physically calms your nervous system. So there's actual like measurable scientific benefits. It's not just, like spiritual stuff, which is you can't always measure that. Sort of depending on the person and how much they're kind of just resonating with that, but
just as real, but not necessarily something that is gonna. That's interesting. Yeah, because you hear a lot about music therapy, etc. as well.
Yeah.
And I know that, Sherri Anne, you've been really interested in how sound vibrations, like you used to talk about like, I don't know, I remember a song you wrote way back in the day that like hit certain chakras or something like that. Do you remember this conversation? I feel like we've talked about this.
Yeah, when I was in Chicago, I got really interested in actually also like the Reiki and different healing techniques. And a friend of mine did like tuning fork
cool
session, and it's like each like there's different singing bowls that are aligned with different notes, which align with different chakras. And I was trying to write like songs that would like align each chakra. And I used to listen when I played field hockey in college, and I would get really stressed. So I'd listen every night to like to CDs that were like kind of like self-hypnosis almost. Enhance like your sense of smell, taste, hearing, and also to like calm you down. And there were like different wave frequencies in the music. And the tuning fork was really cool because you could feel it like
vibrating
and like vibrating over your chakra. Yeah. It's really amazing. So I found it all to be incredibly helpful.
Yeah, I love all this stuff. That's so cool. We'll have to talk about that in detail soon, because it's the same thing. Like chakras are like energy centers, but if you want to just keep it completely secular and science-based too, like, because some people just aren't really into that or whatever. Like it's just, you have measurable frequencies of your body parts. Like I've been reading about the heart. Like the heart has its own frequency. So essentially, if you can match the vibration or or it can actually calm your brain waves. So it's really cool.
Oh, that's
anyways, that could be something.
Huh.
But,
yeah, no, that's really fun. Yeah, I wonder if it's possible to get into that with flavors like teas that are
totally. Well, actually, in some sound healing baths, if you go to, some people put like a ceremonial bowl of water at the front of the room, so you could have tea or you could have the water, and then when everyone's chanting or everybody's meditating, that energy goes into the bowl of water, and then you all share it at the end, which might not be COVID safe now, but or you could boil that water.
Yeah. And then you could work with it. That's really interesting.
Or we could do a sound healing bath in the courtyard there in the summer.
That's awesome.
That'd be cool.
That's really interesting.
So I figured that out. Yeah.
No, I think that's really, really fascinating. I wonder about because I remember actually having a wine from a pyramid winery that I used to do tours for in when I was younger in the Okanagan, this place called Summerhill, and I remember they had a wine that was blessed by a shaman. Which is interesting. And it's interesting also, like, when you can borrow tools for measuring the effects of say a blessing or something or like sacred geometry is a really interesting thing that they were talking about in the pyramid winery. Of course, it's named after the pyramid that they built as their cellar, and they had wine that they'd put in the cellar versus outside of the cellar, and they were able to actually measure quantifiably the change in flavor molecules that were being expressed.
I love that stuff.
Yeah,
I love that, because I don't like stuff where people are saying a certain thing and then there's no, like, I want to know why, and I want to see this, the studies behind it. But yeah, the same thing, like even the presence of somebody being in a room changes the molecules of something. Like it blows my mind.
That's really interesting. Yeah. I find that
really
fascinating. Cool. Yeah, no,
it's so fascinating.
Are we on the second steep? Are we drinking this?
Yep.
Is this
I'm drinking it.
And what are we thinking? Is this drying? Is this singer friendly? Are we okay? I'm asking the specialists here, Amy Kirkpatrick, Sherri Anne.
We're the scientists.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes pretty similar to the first steep, or is that just my?
That's what I'm tasting.
Yeah,
non-advanced tea.
This reminds me of the cyanus soya sauce flavor I was getting out of it in the long infusion before, but in a good way. I mean, when I say that, it makes it sound horrible, but it's not. It's delicious. Yeah.
I really like it a lot. I think that I would also love to have like a version that just is honeybush and marshmallow.
Yeah.
Like as an option.
That's your nice way of saying that you're getting an effect from the raspberry leaf?
No, I'm not. I really love the raspberry leaf. I'm just thinking about, like, raspberry leaf is so medicinal in my mind,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
It's wonderful.
I actually tried it with just marshmallow root and honeybush and marshmallow root and rooibos, and it felt like what the marshmallow root brought to the table was almost like a diminishing of flavor. And I know that it's a medicinal product. It's supposed to help with coating the throat. But there's a part of me whenever I'm putting together these blends, like I guess maybe you could say that the raspberry leaf is sort of Jaga Silk's kind of last minute contribution to the design, is that I feel like if you can get it to taste good too, then it's just so much more accessible. But medicine often, when it works really well, doesn't taste good, and that's just the reality.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think maybe this comes back to this conversation about, how medicinal is it? And some people that are, for example, if you're pregnant, you're not supposed to have raspberry leaf, is the kind of the theory out there. But I was in a mother's, like, I was just we were buying a gift for a friend, and we went into this shop that had different teas for mothers and stuff, and raspberry leaf was in the ingredients, and I was like, okay, and it said it was for pregnant women too, and I was like, oh no, that's not okay. Raspberry leaf can have really challenging complications. But when I researched it a lot more, I realized that I was coming across this theme again, neutral, medicinal, toxic levels of ingestion, and the level that we're drinking, that you're like the coordinates, this 8 gram, 4 minute, 240 mils drink. It is a an expression of the tea that's going to be a little stronger than some are used to, but it's not hitting that place where you can be like, okay, this is going to cause damage, is my understanding.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but
Yeah.
that's how kind of we interact with
very
it.
mellow.
You know, and everybody's body's different. I always like to point out, but that's true with Camellia sinensis too, right? Camellia sinensis is a medicine. The tea plant is a medicine, and it does have the caffeine alkaloid in it, right? Like it's gonna stimulate your nervous system. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but it's gonna do it in a way, depending on the style of the tea, that's different for different people. Like green teas with the therapeutic effect of the L-theanine that's counteracting the stimulant and releasing a tranquilizer into your system helps to really slow down that release and makes it so you don't get addicted to green tea. So that's interesting, right? And I think there's what we're drinking here with this herbal blend is two very, very low impact in terms of medicinally speaking, even for like theoretically the honey bush and the marshmallow. And I guess you're just questioning that raspberry leaf just because of the lore behind it, right? Is that why you're thinking maybe this without it?
Oh, I love the red raspberry leaf. I just if I was gonna drink it like a lot, like I drink honey rooibos every day almost, like when I'm on tour,
right?
Or honey bush. And so if I was to have it daily, I think I would have the red with red raspberry maybe like a few days a week, because it's supposed to be really good, like you said, for inflammation,
Right.
and it's great tea to have. And then if I was gonna have something every day, maybe I would have a honey bush with just the marshmallow, like as an option. It'd be kind of cool to have both. I love it's really nice because the raspberry gives it like a little bit of like a sweetness, slightly.
Yeah, kind of
natural sweetness.
It also kind of there's like this rounding, a completion that it does. I don't know if it has to be raspberry leaf. I'm pretty excited by it, but I do think
love it.
that it'd be interesting to do like Singer's Delight, where that third ingredient maybe rotates and ends up being
Singer's Delight plus raspberry, or Singer's Delight plus
Singer's Delight with raspberry leaf, and then Singer's Delight with whatever maybe you were talking about doing one with yerba mate at one point. That'd be
Singer's Delight with yerba. Actually, I've had a yerba mate with rooibos before and elderberry, and it was amazing.
So, elderberry is another one. Like, that'd be kind of fun. It's actually, since COVID, it has been so incredibly hard to get elderberry. I actually wanted to release... I wanted to release one of my favorite herbal blends that we've designed at Jaga Silk is spearmint, fireweed, and elderberry. And I was like all set to release that as my next minty herbal. I always do a minty herbal. We had peppermint, wild bergamot, and cinnamon before, and I wanted to do spearmint, fireweed, and elderberry. And there was nothing for it. We couldn't get it, and it's because it's so good. It's considered very antiviral in traditional medicine. So, traditional medicine, antiviral, COVID.
Yeah. Sold out.
Gone.
Wow.
So,
rooibos too is really good for breathing, and honeybush, I would imagine, has a similar.
It does. Yeah, it's also very good for breathing. That's actually a good point. It helps with colic in small children and stuff too. So it's really helpful in that regard. That's actually a good point. So if it helps with breathing, it coats your throat, and it's anti-inflammatory. I think we're in a good place. Yeah.
I like it's kind of like romantic too. Marshmallow raspberry. Like it's just kind of.
It sounds. Yeah. Just the audio on that name, hey.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
I really do love the idea of rotating the third ingredient.
I think it's fun. I think then you can experiment, right? And you can find something that's really worthwhile there.
I love this. This is such a fun exploration day on all this.
I think we should make a third steep while we're talking.
Okay, let's do it.
And maybe
I'm
we can
water.
Wild.
Sorry.
Okay. Just
all right.
Pulling that up. You're doing your vessel transfer there, Amy?
Yes.
Yeah, you are.
You could also do you could also use that awesome strainer you have like out of your teapot into the cup.
That's what I'm using. Well, I'm putting it in the cup, like he said.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then into the teapot, right?
Yeah. You put it into the cup, or into the jar, then into the teapot. As long as you boiled fresh, right? If you haven't boiled fresh, if it's off boiled, then you should be fine.
I've got my little
instant
boiler here.
Unless it was too long. And then I'm gonna do 6 minutes this time.
Oh.
So.
But sometimes I do like out of the teapot. I use the strainer if I have a little bit of extra excess, you know.
Yeah. And then when you're done brewing, pour the entirety of the contents back into the jar. You don't want to let.
Oh.
You don't want to let the extraction continue in the teapot.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking fast enough.
Oh.
You following me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then we have a chance. Oh, there's been some notes here in our chat room. Viewer said that they love honeybush. Was told to take marshmallow root to help with milk when breastfeeding, and raspberry leaf tea to strengthen the uterus for labor, which is interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
And then Amy enjoyed the discussion about sound healing. One of my professors told me to study and to do the assignments listening to Baroque music to enhance retention and concentration. So
I heard that. I just read something crazy about that. Yeah, it's yeah, thank you. That's interesting. I should check that out.
For sure.
Baroque
Cool.
music.
Okay, so we're at I already started my timer. I feel like I should have you have like a. Are we going to be off time, or were you filling at the same time? Are we on the same time?
I'm following along.
Excellent. Okay, great. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Oh, our secret guest really feels the nice soothing nature on the throat.
Oh, good. Sounds like a ghost.
That's awesome.
I love our secret guest. One way or another fun fact is Cher is living in my old house.
Yes.
That's the place I lived in Victoria.
There you go. Yeah, that's
again
awesome.
Just we've had so many weird twists of fate. We've known each other for over a decade. Yeah. And it was so funny. It was like a problem solving thing where I'm like, I need to get rid of my place, and she was like, I need a place, and we're just
happened at the same moment.
Hadn't thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. No, that's really cool. And then you're all set up in your new digs, and
I am. Yeah. Do you sell any of your products in Vancouver?
If you're in Vancouver, if you go to Matchstick Coffee,
it's one right on the near me. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been supplying them since they opened their first location.
Cool.
But some exciting news there, and this was on last week. We had Nick, one of the managers, the tea guy at Matchstick. He was involved in the release of matcha at all the locations, JagaSilk matcha, and that's as of February, I think 19th. So this Friday, there's the big release. So you should go have a matcha.
I will.
And then you might even find this Singer's Delight on the menu pretty soon too.
Maybe.
At all the 5 locations. So
that's cool.
It might be still a couple months away, but you're drinking it first before everybody. So
yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, and then also if you go to where is it? Seasons Bakery, and then we're also our teas and matcha are over at Maria's Gelato in Langley. Yeah, well, who else on the mainland there? We have a number of different places serving our tea lattes, like our Rooibos chai. You can get at Small Victory and at Kafka's and stuff. So
cool. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So
I'll keep my eyes out.
Yeah, but I would generally direct traffic to Matchstick because they're all in on all of the products. So pretty exciting.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, and actually, in where are we? We used to actually have quite a few spaces serving our matcha in Vancouver, and for some reason now it's mostly an Alberta thing for JagaSilk. As we have a lot of customers in Alberta. But Vancouver is kind of like dropped away. So I think I just need to go over there and give Vancouver some love. And
yeah, I'll do it for you. I'll go door to door.
Yeah, we used to have a duffel bag with tea in it, and we'd go around. And they called us tea terrorists.
Throw it at all this.
Yeah, I'm down too. Yeah. You have a lot of customers on the island in Victoria.
Well, that's where we're from. It's we have some great relationships. One of my favorites is Township Coffee over near UVic. He does.
Yeah, we gotta go there.
Yeah, I've been trying to get the owner on the show for quite a long time, but it hasn't been happening. He's shy.
My whole band is so shy when it comes to live.
You wouldn't know it. But yeah, no, that's awesome. Amy, really glad you could come on the show, though. This is
fun. I told Cher, as long as I don't have to sing, I'll do it. I don't play live shows, but somehow when I'm around Cher, like I end up on a stage somewhere.
Okay. What's the song? song.
It's just not my thing. Just like, no.
It'd be so funny if we had to sing after drinking the tea.
Oh
like.
yeah. Well, you gotta see if it works.
Bye.
You gotta see if it works. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite nights ever in life was when I had a show in New York at was my set time was 12:30 a.m. I think.
You texted me. I was dancing half tipsy, not on tea, the night before, and I get a text from Cher in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Do you want to play a show tomorrow?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, I do." I haven't played in months. Yeah. And then the next day, I'm like, "What have I done? This is like awful." And then I thought, whatever. It's one song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your set was like midnight. I think it was 1:30 by the time I played.
Yeah.
That's honestly in the top, it might be the best night of my life. Honestly,
wow.
I think of it. It was, we danced till I played 2 songs, then you played.
Yeah, it was amazing. Your performance.
It was amazing. Rockwood Music Hall.
Yeah, they had that incredible piano.
Oh, it was amazing. Tea.
Tea's ready.
Oh, no more talking.
Awesome. Have you noticed?
And then we went dancing. It was amazing till 5 a.m. I think we closed down.
Crazy times.
That's kind of a cool thing about New York. Like, they stopped serving alcohol and they closed, but then they let us all just dance till 5 a.m. 4 a.m. sunrise.
That's very cool.
It was so cool.
Have you noticed the syrup-like quality when you're pouring this?
Yeah, I've noticed that, especially when it doesn't steep.
Yeah, like the second and the third steep has been a little bit more active with that. That's really fascinating. Huh. I want a recording of that show, Amy. I want to see Amy live on the piano.
There is actually. I think that's the last time I ever played.
Wow. Okay.
What a way to go out, though. It's like, but I there's something about playing. I'll play in New York anytime. And actually, before COVID, I was going to go live with a friend in New York, and then COVID happened, and then that didn't happen. But there's something about playing in a city just like completely different than your own, where I just feel more free. And it's totally just like nerves maybe, but I like playing in front of nobody that I know.
Yeah.
Cher's always there. Wherever I am. She's everywhere.
That's awesome.
But that's how our lives have been. We just always end up in the same place at the same time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like right now. I'm in your house, your old house.
Yeah. I mean,
you're both at Amy's house. That's funny.
That was really amazing. That in particular, that was also one of my favorite nights ever. And then just dancing. And I would be honest, after we danced till 5 a.m, we went to another bar in which we watched the sunrise. I think you recommended it. And I will be honest, like I drank tea all night, and that allowed me to stay up till 7 a.m.
You went out after that?
I know. We danced, and then we
I don't know how, like, I was in bed at like 5, 6 a.m, but somehow you always like that unlimited energy.
Continue.
I honestly like,
Maybe it was the tea. Maybe it was
what kind of tea?
Maybe it was all that.
I had some yerba mate.
Okay, there you go.
You're just carrying it around with you?
Well, they had
like randomly in her pocket. Did you know? Amy, we've been sponsoring Sister Speak with Tea. We're actually her official tea sponsor. And when I went to Germany once to see her play with my wife, there's a Jaga Silk logo on the poster outside of this little like cafe in Cologne, Germany. I was so stoked. And next to Taylor guitars and D'Addario strings and then she's playing away. But yeah, every month, right, Cher? Until the JagaVision, I felt like I was inundating you with tea, but maybe now you're undersupplied. I don't know. Are we doing okay?
You're doing fantastic.
Okay.
I think I had matcha that day and then played the show, and then I found like there's yerba mate like tea. I usually get in the glass jar. All the stores in New York sell it, and then there's one with rooibos in it actually that I usually get, and it's my favorite combinations for if I'm like out late or have a really late show. And you know what else is a secret? I learned this in college. Is like tea with an apple.
Interesting. Okay.
Why?
The apple wakes me up. I don't know why. And it also apple with honey. Yeah, apple with honey is really good for your lungs.
Wow.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
We're coming to the end of the show, our 2:30 But I think that we've covered a lot of really interesting topics, and I just wanted to give everybody a chance just to say their goodbyes and just talk about this tea one last time. Vote of confidence. It sounds like from the two singers. Well, I sing too, but I'm not as active as you both.
You sing totally.
Yeah, you're totally.
I hope to be as active, but I'm
more active than I am. So you're the singer.
Am I now? I don't know. But I wanted to, get that vote of confidence on this tea. It sounds like we got. Are we?
Yeah.
Is this singer friendly? Is this singer encourager?
Yeah.
Singer
I'm
enhancer?
very aware of like this area, and I don't feel like phlegmy or like coated. Like it's like a nice, clear.
Cool.
Like even speaking, yeah.
That's great to hear.
It's easy to talk actually right now.
Yeah, I feel that
I'm
too.
finding my voice is relaxed and I'm talking easy.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right.
You know, I think the third steep is my favorite. I will be honest, I added a little bit more water.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you can drink it more diluted if you want. Again, we're trying to hit a flavor point where it like has like a full flavor. But there's, I think you're still going to get that syrupy medicinal effect with a lighter extraction. So cool. Amy, did you have some final words you wanted to say to our viewers, to Sister Speak, or in regards to the tea, or etc.?
We could talk for hours. No, thank you for having me. I can't wait to next time I visit Victoria when I'm able.
Awesome.
Come by and have a tea and try whatever the latest flavor is. And yeah, thanks for having me.
No worries. Maybe we can twist your arm and get you onto the stage for one song or two. Hey.
somehow it happens. You never know.
You never know. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's awesome. Cool. And maybe we can design an evening tea together for Feel Well.
Yeah, I love that.
Be kind of fun.
Love that. Yeah.
Okay. Sister Speak, Sherri Anne, did you have any words you wanted to say to our viewers, Amy, about the tea, etc. before we go?
So Amy, we can find your new song, Amy Kirkpatrick, Lifeline. We can find that on Instagram. I was listening to that, and on all Spotify and everything.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. That's awesome. It sounds so good. The engineering.
Yeah, really good.
The production.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm super good. Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh, I'm super stoked about this tea. Every Thursday, 12 o'clock, Pacific Standard Time, do a live stream, patreon.com/sisterspeak, and gonna be putting the full live album online eventually. Right now it's just on vinyl and the 3 singles are up, but I need to figure out the right day to keep pushing it. Yeah, to put the whole thing out, you know?
Totally. Yeah, it's my singles have been coming out every month for Truth and Dolphin, and it's so interesting to hear I don't know, Apple Music? I don't want to plug Apple. They don't need any plugs, but I've been really liking the sound on that for some reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because
I agree.
Yeah, it's communicating with my phone in a different way. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm listening to pretty good speakers, and that seems to have a really rich sound, and that's really exciting. I'm excited to hear your album actually on all these different streaming services. I know it's not the best for revenue in the bank, but it's really interesting for sound and love the new album. So I'm excited to hear it in all these different areas. And we have the vinyl here at Jaga Silk. We also sell her CD here. So if anybody's in Victoria and wants to pick up Sister Speak album, they can come and grab it here.
Cool.
And check her out, sisterspeakmusic.com. Go to Amy. Are we directing traffic to that Ditto that we have in the description here?
Yeah, Lifeline.
Okay, so ditto.fm/lifeline-Amy-Kirkpatrick. If you look in the description, there's a link to, a landing page that can show the different areas where you can stream Amy's new single. So exciting times. Thank you both for coming on to the show.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you spending this time. And we will, I'm sure we will see you again soon, Amy, and we'll see you again next week, Sherri Anne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Awesome. Okay, so again, that was Sherri Anne and Amy with Amy Kirkpatrick and Sherri Anne from Sister Speak. I'm really happy to have them on. We'll hopefully see you next week. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to our channel, you can hit subscribe, sign up for notifications, and as soon as we go live, you'll get an email letting you know, and you can watch our next show. Next show is going to be pretty fun. We're going to have Pedro Villalon on again from O5T. We're going to be drinking some Uji Hikari by Yoshida. It's a collaborative matcha that we're working on, where we've done a little bit of a hopper swap. where he's milled some of our Okamidori Okuda by Fujioka, and then we've milled some of his Uji Hikari by Yoshida, and there's just a chance there to kind of explore what it means to the role that the miller plays in the transaction. So we'll be able to taste the same matcha milled by him and milled by Jaga Silk. So should be lots of fun. So we see you next week, 1 o'clock Thursday. YouTube.com/JagaSilk, Twitch.tv/JagaSilk, or watch it on our Facebook page. Thank you so much and take care. Goodbye.